Clonk sh.t. I hope I have an axe. Clonk 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 bang. Clonk. It's time to go back. There are a lot of pieces of wood. Fortunately, I have the gift of tough ox. I can make a few more round trips to transport these pieces of wood back. I just made 2 more cups, so that I can have several cups of water in shots without waiting for a while to take the next one. I even remade the snowshoes. After all, the old ones were made of broken branches and bound with small intestines, which were too rough to stand our following long journey. During this period, Hanny Nick and I took turns to rest, so it was extremely depressing with no one to talk to during the day. However, that's what survival is supposed to be. We have done our best to survive and have no time to think about something else. 1 more day's rest and we should be on our way. Fortunately, the sledge I made is not small. It's 2 meters long and 1.5 meters wide, making it 3 square meters. So it has enough space for Nick to lie down and stretch out, and there is no worry that she would feel uncomfortable. As expected, it's easy to pull it. In order to reduce the ground contact area, I particularly added 2 more sledge blades to the bottom before. They are side-by-side logs of equal length with the sledge, and there are 2 layers. They are fixed to the bottom with ropes, which greatly reduces the friction between the sledge and the snow. I have the gift of tough ox, but after trying it in the past few days, I discovered that this gift, like swift cheetah, can only stimulate the potential of my body but not directly empower me. Generally, my strength is still within the realm of humans. With the power I have now, I can already have an arm wrestling with, but I still feel tired when sledding. It's like an ordinary person carrying a large watermelon. He can carry it but he can't do it for long. He would feel tired and have to take a break. We've been moving too slowly since there's only 1 person pulling the sledge. We are still on the edge of the forest periphery after 1 day of walking. Luckily, we have a sledge to carry the shed, or it will cost us more time to build a shed when we need to sleep. Mr. Wizard. You are awake. Come here and get some food. Mr. Wizard, where are we now? We are still on the edge of the forest periphery. Let me help you to pull the sledge. No, let's talk about it after you are fully healed. It's not worth it if it leaves you sequelae. Rumble. Nick, keep an eye on your surroundings. I'll be away for a while. I'm feeling better. I'd better hurry back, or Nick will worry. Mr. Wizard, I have roasted some meat. Have some. Rumble rumble, you eat first. 1 hour later. Mr. Wizard, how do you feel now? Much better. Have some water. Based on my current state, I must have eaten something bad. Was there anything wrong with the meat of the chicken or the polar bear? No. It would have happened already if there was a problem. How come it happened until now? And the food is less likely to go bad in this environment. Hold on. Apart from the meat, water is the other thing I have had. Could it be? I remembered. There is a hint in Snow Forest Experience Pack. If water is nowhere to find in the snowfield, people can melt snow into water to meet their body's needs temporarily, but remember not to drink snow water for a long time. Because it lacks minerals. Even if people take it after boiling, it can still cause abdominal distension or diarrhea, but using it for soup is another story. Puffed Mr. Wizard, what's wrong with the water? We'd better drink as little snow water as possible. But it's not a too serious problem. There are quite a few pine trees here. We can pick some pine needles to make tea. Tea. There are not even stones. How can we boil water here? Actually, we don't necessarily have to use stones. Fizzle. Fizzle fizzle, wow, so it can replace stones. I have long thought of this method of boiling water, and there are 2 reasons why I didn't use it before. First, this method will increase the carbon content in the blade, causing a decrease in toughness and an increase in rigidity, so the blade will be prone to break. Second, in a low-temperature environment, the heat on the blade will almost dissipate not long after transferring to the water. If we want to boil water in this way, it will take us too much time. Low from the point where we are now, I have to do it. Otherwise, I will fall into a vicious circle of diarrhea leading to dehydration and then drinking snow water leading to diarrhea again, until I completely collapse. There is a saying that the pine needle is a treasure and is more beneficial for longevity than other herbs. The extract of pine needles contains plant enzymes, plant fiber, growth hormone, protein, fat, and 24 amino acids, which have the effect of lowering blood pressure. But now it is much better. Nick, I have to get up early tomorrow, so I'm going to rest first. Okay, leave everything here. I was thinking of solving the water problem after we found a suitable place to settle down, but I suffered diarrhea last night, forcing me to deal with it quickly. This wooden shovel is not big, but it's better than none. Hoping I can find some stones for boiling water. Dig dig dig. I finally dug some. There are only a few pieces of stones, but it's enough to boil water at one time. It will save me lots of time and effort. Next, we can move on. That's moss. It tastes like ova. But of course, its taste doesn't matter now. What matters is that its appearance means that we have approached and even reached the relatively warm inner area. Nick, look what I've found. Moss. It's actually moss. Yes. We may be out of this forest soon. There are fewer live trees here, but more and more dead trees. And there are more mosses on the trees, and they are getting bigger, so Nick and I don't have to worry about the shortage of vegetables. Moss itself has a simple structure, so it would be affected greatly by the environment. Mosses are different based on different soils and different light intensities, and even the air can affect them. That's why mosses can be served as a pointer to the direction and the location of water. In the wilderness, large rocks, mounds of soil, and tall trees are usually accompanied by dense vegetation to the south and the growth of moss to the north. Thus, one can tell the direction based on this difference. In the wilderness, large rocks, mounds of SE and tall trees are usual. Now we are heading to the east. However, it would be harder to locate the source of water. I can't do it through the mosses on the same tree. Generally, if one wants to figure out the source of water through different mosses, he should compare those which are at least a kilometer away from each other, and then judge it according to their growth. However, it will take a lot of effort. Apart from that, it's prone to make a wrong judgment if I compare different mosses according to my memories without a recording tool. I don't care much about water. It's okay to have it or not because it's not what we are lacking now. We just need to keep moving. It feels like we are getting inside the forest. I'm sure of it by the sound of stepping on the snow. It's less thick than before, and most importantly, it's warmer here. It's completely barren compared with those forests in temperate zones and tropical zones, but it's much better than the snowfield before. According to Snow Forest Experience Pack, there may be berries around, which also means that there may be animals in the vicinity. Just play it by ear. It will be great if I can find some berries and other foods, but for now, we need to go into the forest. 2 hours later. Sigh. I've been looking for 2 hours but got nothing. My eyes are sore for searching for food. And I have no idea if there are. Bush. Mr. Wizard, have we arrived? Yes. Do you see that bush? We've got into the forest. In the next few days, we need to find a place to live for a long time. Are we staying here? No. Although we are not short of water, there is more food near the source of water for sure. Since we've been searching for it for a long time, a day or 2 more won't make a difference. Nick, is it okay for you to be alone now? I'll be away for a water source for a while. Sure. Thanks to the massage, the pain in my arms has been completely away, and my body is no longer stiff. So I'm able to protect myself to some extent. You can rest assured to find a water source. Okay, wait for me. My move is seriously restrained in the snowfield, and Swift Cheetah can only play a little part. But I don't need to pull the sledge, which saves me lots of effort. Got it. This place is a kilometer away from the sledge. I need to remember the distribution of these mosses with no errors. If I made an error, the previous comparisons would be ruined. Well, the moss here doesn't increase. Mr. Wizard. Have you found the source of water? No, there is no trace of it here. Let's go north. We are heading in the right direction. There are more mosses on the trees in the north, which means that this place is closer to the source of water. And there are more food and animals in this direction too. Animal footprints. It's a snow hare. It's a pity that these footprints have faded a lot with the storm, and it is impossible to find the snow hare in places that are not covered by trees. It's a good sign, anyway. And as the saying goes, good things come in pairs. Mr. Wizard. It's a creek. It's a creek. This creek is small and shallow, but the water flow is abundant. And it is full of stones. It's simply amazing. Mr. Wizard, shall we build a shelter near here? No, water is important to us, and the same goes for animals as well. There are only 2 of us, and you are still injured. We'll be in trouble if we encounter beasts. Where are we going then? Don't get too far from the water source, but not too close either. Well. That open SP ahead will do. It is half an hour away from the source of water, which is acceptable. It looks nice, doesn't it? The first thing to build a house is to lay a good foundation. Yet, before that, we need tools to dig the foundation. But we can't expect iron tools in this snowfield. We can only make stone tools. And about the food. We haven't hunted these days, and we don't have any other supplies. We are running out of the polar bear's meat, which is only enough to support us for 1 week, so we have to stock up on some food soon. Nick, stay here. I will be right back. Ah, it's so cold. I hope I can find some useful stones. This is a flint. It's the best material in primitive society. The primitives would polish them into stone tools. It's dense and hard, and it can produce a spark when being stricken. I have to take it with. Mr. Wizard. I found some flints. I'm going to polish them into axes and hoes. Mr. Wizard, take a break and have some hot tea. No, thanks. I need to get them done quickly. I will go to bed late. There will be a lot of things to do tomorrow. Mr. Wizard, please be safe. And I can't always keep resting. I have to do something. These stones are tough, but compared to iron, they are easier to break. Polishing stones doesn't require my shoulders to move too much, so it will have little impact on me. We don't have much food left. Hopefully, I can find footprints left by animals today. These are the footprints of snow hares, and it seems that there are a lot of snow hares around. It's the second time I have found their trace. These marks are deeper and messier than those seen before, which means that this is a regular trail for them. It will be too time-consuming if I follow these footprints to their nests, and the nests may even be empty. It is better to make a trap, but what kind of traps to make? Got it. 3-bar trap. First, insert 2 branches abreast at a distance of 60 centimeters on the side of the trail, and then put another branch horizontally on them and tie them tightly with ropes. After that, insert another branch on the other side of the trail at the middle point between these 2 branches, so that the main part of the trap is done. And the second step is the most critical part. The branches cannot be fixed too tightly, or the trap cannot be triggered, and nor can they be too loose, or even slight vibration will cause the trap to trigger and hunting will fail. It only took me about 10 minutes to set it up, and now I still have much time to continue searching around. There may be something else besides animals. Pleurotus ostreatus, also known as oyster mushroom, hirotake, or pearl oyster mushroom. Scientific name. Liophyllum decastes. It belongs to division Basidiomycota, family Pleuritaceae, and genus Pleurotus. Its cap is flat and semi-spherical. The margin is enrolled when young, and is smooth and often somewhat lobed or wavy. It has a diameter of centimeters. Its flesh varies from grayish-white to grayish-yellow. It is rich in protein, essential amino acids for humans, carbohydrates, multiple vitamins, and trace elements. It's edible. I'm lucky. These weigh about 3 to 4 pounds. Nick and I have been eating meat for a long time. We can finally have something different on the table. The holes on this net are big. But it can still pack something large. These mushrooms are big enough that they won't fall through the holes. I wanted to make a bag out of hide, but I don't have much left. We have to use the furs to keep out the cold. There is no surplus. See if I can get more furs later. I'll make soup with these tonight. It may take a while. But my mouth is watering when I think of it. Well, I'll walk around. Maybe I'll find something else. I can tell from this that there must be squirrels nearby. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many residual pine cones here. I'll set a trap here. Cut. Done. Once a squirrel finds this pine cone and touches the stanchion, the original balance of the stanchion will collapse instantly. Then this tree branch, which will bounce back due to resilience, will pin the squirrel to this trunk. Well, it's still early. There's another interesting thing in Snow Forest Experience Pack. I'll test it somewhere. Dig. Cut. One last step. I hope I won't be disappointed. Including this, there are 3 traps now, but they're far from enough. I need to set more traps nearby before dark. Nick made so many tools in one day. Awesome. Yawn. Nick doesn't want to sleep because I'm not around. I'm back. You've done a great job with those stone tools. Yawn. Mr. Wizard. You can take a good sleep now. I'll make dinner then. It will be worth the wait. Fizzle. Mr. Wizard, what's that? It smells so good. You're up. I found some frozen mushrooms today, and I made soup with them and the polar bear's flesh. Come and try it. Yummy. If only we could have salt. The soup made from these mushrooms and raw meat has a strong taste of soil. I think it's delicious without salt. I wish I could have such delicious soup every day. I have collected many mushrooms. Nick and I can't eat them all at once. But the remaining mushrooms are only enough for tomorrow. And we don't have much meat left. I've set up many traps, but whether I can catch any prey depends on my luck. If luck isn't on my side, I may get nothing. I need to find a steady and sustainable food source. This feeling of uncertainty is annoying. If we only rely on hunting to get our food, we won't be able to resist risks. Hunting will also occupy most of our time. Mr. Wizard. If I want to plant something here, I must build a greenhouse. But there are only 2 of us. We may be starved to death before the greenhouse is built. It seems that I can only count on aquatic products. There should be a lot of fish in the ice sheets. I wonder if the stream I saw before leads to a larger river. Before that, I'll see what I can get from my traps tomorrow. If there's enough prey, we can rely on the traps to make a living for now. I have to build a cabin before I make other plans. If the prey is only enough for one day, I will set out and look for fisheries along the river. If I'm lucky enough to find fish-rich waters, I'll get enough food in the future. But if I can't find anything, I'll have to return to the ice sheets. Ah, it's so annoying. It is the end of June. Autumn will come in 2 months, which means the temperature in Zone E7 will be even lower and we won't be able to keep out the cold with our current clothing. It will get worse in winter when most of the living creatures will disappear. It'll be harder to find food. Therefore, I must store a lot of food before winter comes. In other words, we need to build a cabin and get enough food and clothing for the winter in 5 months. Otherwise, we'll die. Gusp. Squeak squeak. I never thought the traps I set could catch snow hares, squirrels, and snowy owls after one night. If I set 20 traps, I can get 10 animals. If I set 30 traps, I can get 15. Wonderful success rate. Thanks to the experience pack, I could adopt the correct traps in the right places, which helped me a lot. Let me check the trap with spikes. What the hell? No large carnivores nearby. There's no footprint around it. Or is it because the bait is not attractive enough? Forget it. The prey is just enough to sustain Nick and me for one day. After all, there's not much meat in squirrels and snow hares, let alone snowy owls. I won't use them as bait. I spent a busy day getting the food Nick and I need for one day. I can barely make ends meet. How can I find time to build a cabin? I guess I'll have to set more traps and save time for something else. Grind grind. I'm back. Mr. Wizard. A good harvest for today. Yep. During this week, I set up hundreds of traps around our campsite and divided them into 4 zones. I went to a different zone every day. I know why you did that. If you show up in one of the 4 zones too frequently, the animals there will be scared away. That's right. I can get food for 2 or 3 days one time. If I'm lucky enough, I can even get enough food for a week. And those traps can be reused. It takes me at most a few hours to collect the prey and reset the traps. More food, but less effort. We don't have to worry about food now, but we will get less prey once autumn arrives. The temperature will also drop significantly. Bearskins are not enough to keep us warm. So let's build a cabin first. Okay. My wounds have almost healed. I can go out now. 7 Okay, I'll tell you where the traps are. You can collect prey and reset the traps. I'll get some wood for the cabin. With the excellent resilience of the silver wolf and the extraordinary strength of the tough ox, it shouldn't take me long enough wood for building a cabin. Bang! Dig 00. I've prepared enough wood. Next, we need to trim them. Mr. Wizard, we only have wood now. Are we gonna build a simple triangular hut? No, I'll show you the wisdom of ancient Chinese people later. If we want to build a cabin without nails, we can only make mortise and tenon joints to connect the wood. To ensure the firmness of the cabin, I must make mortises and tenons fit together perfectly. I don't have any handy tools. So this is a hard job. Well, I'm not Irex. I don't have outstanding craftsmanship, so the mortise and tenon joints I made are ugly. Forget it. I'll make some wooden sticks to reinforce the structure later. 1.5 months later it's finally done. What a nice cabin. And it took us much less time than I expected. Thanks to you. You've been helping me for the past half-month so that I could finish it earlier. If it weren't for your daily massage, my hands wouldn't have healed so quickly. Unfortunately, I can only get points when I complete tasks of the system for the first time. Otherwise, I could get a lot of rewards this time. Nick, let's go inside. I wanted to ask you this question before, Mr. Wizard. Why did you make 2 windows when it's so cold outside? Smoke can escape from these 2 windows when we want to make a fire in this cabin. So we won't be poisoned by carbon dioxide. Then we could have built a larger cabin. The heat will dissipate quicker in a larger cabin. It won't keep us warm. Don't worry, I will build another cabin for you if I have time later. That's not what I meant. When the pit store burns, the rising smoke continuously smolders the roof, filling the room with warm and dry air, which can reduce the moisture in the wood and prevent it from rotting. Moreover, the smoke from the burning of firewood contains tar, which can penetrate beams and columns, as well as roofs made of thatch and straw, and improve their insect resistance and waterproofness. Mr. Wizard, are we just stacking these hares and squirrels here? It looks creepy. Let's build a warehouse outside in the next few days. This cabin isn't big. Piling up so much food here is too inconvenient. I don't want to see hundreds of pairs of eyes staring at me when I wake up every morning. Okay, I'll put the remaining wood in order. After a short period of time, we finally accumulated over 100 animals. 1/3 of them are hares, and the rest are squirrels, lemmings, snowy owls, and stoats. But we only have a few snow foxes. We made a wide and thick fur blanket. If it's possible, I also want a mattress. I can sleep on the blanket. But it's not comfortable even with hay under it. Wait, I should make some chests to store things when I'm out there. I can also make some jars when given enough time. Pottery is necessary. Boiling water with stones is too troublesome. However, it means that I have to delay searching for fisheries, and I need to prepare ground cages for fishing. Nick, let's build a warehouse behind our cabin to store the prey we captured. Mr. Wizard, the mortise and tenon joints you made are pretty good. There is no gap between the wood. This is the perfect way for storing food. Well, it's not bad. Bring the food here. I'll make a few more wooden boxes like this later. Autumn is only 1 month away. We don't have much time left. Nick and I have been working day and night to get us well prepared before winter. Mr. Wizard, you can get some rest now. Nick, take a break if you feel tired. I'll keep the vigil. I'm exhausted. I need to have a good sleep so that tomorrow I can. I didn't sleep for too long. Why is it already dawn? Is there something wrong with my eyes or my perception of time? It's daybreak. Mr. Wizard, is it dawn now? Dawn. Wait. Polar day phenomenon. But that phenomenon only appears in the polar regions. Is this world round, too? Mr. Wizard, what do you mean by polar day phenomenon? The polar day, also known as the perpetual day or midnight sun, is a phenomenon that occurs in the polar regions on Earth. The sun will be visible above the horizon for 24 hours. It's formed by the Earth's rotation and the tilt of its axis. The direction of Earth's rotation 24-hour darkness polar night circle solar zenith point the Tropic of Cancer equator the Tropic of Polar diurnal Capricorn circle 24-hour daytime. Let me put it this way. In some cold places, there may be a period during the year when there is no night or when the night is very short. No night. I see. Amazing, isn't it? And it's also annoying. I don't have any timing tools, so I have been adjusting my schedule according to the sky these days. However, my regular life will undoubtedly be disrupted if there's a polar day. Can I only tell the time by my biological clock? What else can I use to tell the time in polar days? Sundial. A sundial is used to determine time based on the position of the sun in the sky. But now, the sun shines more than 12 hours during the day. A sundial is of no use. Sundial. Stars. Most of the time is daytime. And there may be no night as time goes by, let alone stars. Well, it means that Nick and I may experience functional disorders when our schedule fails to keep up with our biological clocks. Nick, wake me up when you feel hungry. Okay, Mr. Wizard. Since I can't come up with any solution, I can only rely on my biological clock formed by long-term regular routines. It may not be very accurate, but at least it can provide me with a rough judgment. Moreover, polar days are not all bad for us. When the original nighttime comes, we won't have to work near the campfire, so we can make tools much faster. 3 days later, have you got everything we need? Yes. I can't believe we made these things in 3 days. Yeah, let's go. It's summer now. Although the temperature is still around 32°F, it feels much warmer than before. Scratch exactly. I hope we can get food this time. Mr. Wizard, the water is so clear. Unfortunately, there is no fish in it. I know that no fish can live in water that is too clean. But what if there is a miracle? Let's go upstream and see if we can find anything. Scratch. We can still see this stream. We walked for a long time, but we didn't go very far. Nick, are you hungry? Sort of. Me, too. I think it's 6 p.m. Now. Let's stop here and find a place to spend the night. Now we can only tell when it is by our stomach. Nick, you stay here. I'll take a walk around. Yes, Mr. Wizard. This place will do it. The mechanism of this trap is very simple. When a beast sticks its head into the knot, its body gets stuck, and then it will struggle, which will tighten up the rope. Eventually, the beast will be strangled. Due to its simple structure and mechanism, this trap can only capture small prey, such as squirrels and snow hares. And the probability of failure is high. Let me see if there's another suitable place to set traps. We have brought enough food for this trip, so we don't have to worry about getting starved. This trap is simple, and it won't take long to get it done. So it will be great if this trap can catch something. The next day, snip sniff. Inns. Bang. 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 Is this a honey badger? Wait, honey badger is supposed to be white. It's a wolverine. Wolverines, a species that lives in the Arctic, belong to the same family as honey badgers. Therefore, they look like honey badgers very much. The obvious difference is that the fur on their back 15 brown, while the fur on the back of honey badgers is white. In addition, they live in different areas. Wolverines live in boreal forests and tundra grassland. Honey badgers live in tropical rainforests and open grasslands in Africa. Wolverines are larger than honey badgers. Environmental factors might have played a role in their size differences. The body length of wolverines can be over 1 meter, therefore, they have a stronger attack force. But they can be considered relatives. Wolverines and honey badgers have quite a few similarities, such as being solitary, preferring to go out at night, having a diverse diet, and being good at long-distance running, swimming, and climbing. And they both are territorial creatures. Roar. Sure enough, wolverines and honey badgers are brave animals. It will curl its body to minimize the damage caused by biting, which may be quite an impressive skill in the animal world. Swish. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on me. I got a wolverine early in the morning. Looks like today is my lucky day. Let me go check the other traps. Mr. Wizard, you're back. Yeah, I have had a good harvest today. I got a wolverine and a snow hare. My effort paid back. And the traps I set can still catch prey for me. Let's go. Mr. Wizard, a river. Let's go check it. Shocked. That's. Whoosh. There are snow mountains in Zone E7. After the time I spent on the empty snowfield and in changeless forests, that snow mountain made me want to go climb it for a simple look. I wonder if there's any iron ore there. When I was on Treasure Island number 2, I found iron ore in the mountains. Mr. Wizard, shall we go check it? Swish. There's something wrong with the map of Zone E7. I remember the mountain area is in the center. I need to cross the entire forest area to get there. And the forest area appears to be much larger than the whole snowfield on the map. It took Nick and me more than a week to cross the snowfield, but it only took us 2 days to come near the mountain area. Even though our camp is deep in the forest. We shouldn't have arrived so early. Am I mistaken? Or is it my illusion? When we were on the snowfield, Nick and I spent most of our time resting, and we moved forward quite slowly because there was no snowboard. Mr. Wizard, what are you thinking about? Nothing. Let's go to see that river. Anyway, it's not something important. Since I can't figure it out, I'll just leave it behind. STP. I wonder if there are any fish in this river. Mr. Wizard, look over there. This is Arctic char. The Arctic char live in the polar regions along the coasts of Europe and America, as well as on islands in the Arctic. It is a freshwater fish species that lives in the farthest reaches of the Arctic. The Arctic char are mainly anadromous and live in the sea when young. They return to rivers for breeding after they grow up. Generally speaking, adult Arctic char will return to the sea in June and July, and swim back to the rivers in autumn. But some Arctic char will settle in lakes for a long time. I got it. On the whole, the river is divided into 4 parts, including the source, the upstream, the midstream, and the downstream. Among them, the riverbed in the downstream is wide, with a small longitudinal gradient and slow flow rate. The sedimentation in that part is significant, and shallow shoals are everywhere. The river bends and twists, and has many tributaries. The river slows down in the midstream, and is with a rather stable riverbed. The vertical erosion weakens while the lateral erosion increases. Therefore, the river channel gradually widens and twists. Beaches can be seen on both sides. Now Nick and I are at the transition point between the midstream and the downstream of this river. Mr. Wizard, shouldn't we catch some fish? No hurry. There will be more fish in the upstream. We've been walking for a whole day. It should be afternoon now. Nick, let's. Mr. Wizard, look. We have arrived. What a beautiful place. What's going on? Crack. Thud. It's a big mouse. It's as big as White Eye. Although it looks like a mouse, it's actually a beaver. Beaver. Does its meat taste good? Air. I don't know either. Actually, this is the first time I've seen a beaver. Mr. Wizard, it's running away. Swoosh, let it go. What a pity. We could eat it. Nick, come here. Judging from the shape of the cut, I can tell this tree was not hollowed out by insects, nor was it forcibly broken by external forces. Was it gnawed through by that mouse? No, beaver. It's unbelievable, right? The beaver has 4 huge and extremely hard front teeth, so it can gnaw through a tree as thick as a human's head within 2 hours. That's impressive. Yes, it is. What's more, they are one of the few species that can change their living environment, just like we humans do. For example, the wetland in front of us evolved from woodland after beavers built dams. Beavers are truly masters of architecture. Is that pond built by beavers? Yes, they are really amazing animals. By reading wild animals collections, I have a clear understanding of beavers' abilities. But it is far less intuitive and shocking than seeing it with my own eyes. This pond looks huge, but the world's largest dam built by beavers is 850 meters long, making this one in front of us relatively small by comparison. But it's enough for us. Beavers are herbivores. They mainly eat tender branches, bark, and roots of trees. So fish is the highest level predator in this pond. That's why we can see a large number of fish swimming in flocks. These fish are enough for the animals nearby to pass the winter, let alone Nick and me. After being busy for so long, we could finally get enough food. Splash. Nick, let's take a good rest today. Ah. We are not going to catch some fish. No need for that. We don't even need to set traps. With such a large fish pond, we can catch fish easily. There's no need to waste time trying our luck. Now let's have a good rest and make sure we have a regular schedule. Yes, Mr. Wizard. Splash splash. Swish. Awesome, Mr. Wizard. You pierced the fish in one go. I'm still not very proficient in controlling my strength yet. Float. Tough ox is a good skill. I've used it a few times, but I haven't fully mastered it. I should practice it more. Swish. Swish swish. Cracks a crackle. It's so delicious. Not bad. There are only Arctic char and Arctic grayling in the pond. However, compared to animals on land, these 2 types of fish don't have too strong a taste, which can be removed by smoking. Let's take a break and organize the hares we caught after we finish this meal. Okay, Mr. Wizard. Nick, go get the fish traps we made earlier. Mr. Wizard, you have already prepared the meat. Well, I have become proficient. Come on, let's put the meat chunks into the fish traps. All right. Splash. Now the hooks and nets we had prepared before are useless, but this is a good thing. Next, we need to prepare warm clothes for the winter. In winter, all creatures become quiet. Many animals either hibernate or migrate to escape from the severe cold. Few of them will come out. But fish are different, and they do not hibernate or migrate. They live in water. So this pond is a natural granary even in winter, which is why I wanted to find a fishery so much. However, I never thought we could find one so soon. I planned to find a fishery before autumn, but it only took us less than 3 days to find this place. Mr. Wizard, are we going to see the snow mountains? Yes. Come on, let's pack up and set off now. Swish. Mr. Wizard, what animal's hair is this? Stop. It's the hair that fell from reindeer during seasonal changes. Reindeer. I have never heard of it, but I remember deer fur is good stuff. Does it mean we will have warm clothes for the winter? If things go well, we can find a reindeer herd if we follow this road. The goddess of luck is on our side. But we can't get anything until we see the reindeer herd. Nick, we have to speed up. According to Snow Forest Experience collections, reindeer will begin to migrate to the permafrost region in winter and arrive there the following summer. In summer, due to warming temperatures, the ice and snow in the permafrost area will melt, and the land will burst into life. Reindeer can find lush plants and various mushrooms there, and they don't have to eat lichen anymore. After getting enough food, reindeer will reproduce and breed their offspring during that period. Then they will come back in autumn. So, reindeer migrate for 8 months of the year. After 2 days of tracking, we finally found them. Mr. Wizard, I think there are at least 200 reindeer. Swift Cheetah will not be affected by anything here. I can rush out and get a reindeer now if I want. But if I act recklessly, the other reindeer will be frightened and run away. That's not what I want to see. Nick, let's go back and get prepared. Then we'll dig a trap near this reindeer herd so that they can run into it one by one. Okay, Mr. Wizard. On the 3rd morning Nick should be in place. After 3 days of preparation, it's time to see if the effort will pay back. How many reindeer can be driven to the trap depends on our cooperation. Ah. 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 Yell. Frightened. Crunch crunch. I'm sorry, but I have to survive. Swish. What's going on? Grunt. Thud. That's the trap fall. Grunt. Mr. Wizard, I saw 7 reindeer fall into the trap. We will get more than 7 reindeer. Wait and see. Mr. Wizard. That's awesome. Let me help you. Sims. Mr. Wizard, I killed 3 reindeer. But many reindeer escaped. Mr. Wizard. Mr. Wizard, what happened to this baby reindeer? It choked on amniotic fluid. Nick, hold it for me. Cough cough. Cough. Mr. Wizard, good job. Pant pant ha ha ha. I'm glad it's okay now. I can surely learn from the older generation. I saw an elderly in my village save a calf in the same situation by using this method before. Mr. Wizard, should we keep it? I think we should. Reindeer are mammals, so they need milk. But where can I get milk? Living in such an extreme environment makes the baby reindeer grow very fast. It will only take a baby reindeer 1 day to learn to stand, run, and search for food. That is to say, milk may not be a must-have for baby reindeer. But I remember newborn babies are very weak and must drink milk. Let's light a bonfire to provide warmth for this baby reindeer first. Then we'll deal with those reindeer corpses. We have had a big harvest today. 16 dead reindeer. Now we have enough fur. But how can we take them back? After all, these are all adult reindeer. Each of them weighs about 440 pounds. Forget it. I can't stand the strong smell of blood here. Let's clean up this place and come back to that issue later. Mr. Wizard, look. This baby reindeer is so cute. Yes, it's cute. It's almost evening now. You should take a break. Although the sky is still bright, we have to keep pace with our schedule. What should I call you? Forget it. I can't tell whether this baby reindeer can survive or not. It's too early to name it now. Wait, is it dead because of the cold environment? Exhale. Good. It's still alive. You must grow up well. Santa Claus sits in a carriage pulled by reindeer. Will you pull my sled when you grow up? Bleat bleat. Great. But will it run away? Bleat. Huh, it seems that you truly believe I won't hurt you. Wait, you are sniffing around. Are you? I don't have breast milk, but I got this. If this baby reindeer doesn't eat it, I don't know what to do then. It's delicious, right? Have some more. But I don't know if the nutrients in it are enough for you. Gobble gobble baby reindeer. You can stand up. That's great. It is. Walking towards you. Mr. Wizard, it's so cute. And it likes me. It may remember your smell. Don't forget you helped clean up the amniotic fluid. Aha. Well, Mr. Wizard, time to shift. Just leave it to me. Okay. It can eat lichen and moss, but don't let it eat too much. I'm going to sleep now. Lift. We have warm clothes for the winter. Now are we heading to the snow mountain or returning to the cabin? Lie down, forget it. We should go back. To get the reindeer fur, we have been badly off the original route. In addition, our supplies are increasing, and it becomes more difficult and troublesome for us to move. Then how to deal with these reindeer? I was thinking of transporting them several times. But now we have found a fishery, so there's no need to worry about food shortage anymore, and it's indeed unworthy of tiring myself for this meat. I think I can just bring back the reindeer's fur and tendons. When we return to the fishery, we can get some fish back as food for the winter, so that Nick and I will feel much lighter for the first half of the journey. However, if I kill the reindeer, I must keep the baby reindeer from it, so that it won't suffer from trauma. After all, it can recognize its own kind even though it is an animal. Blaze Nick, I'm taking the baby reindeer for a walk. You can do whatever you want here. I got it, Mr. Wizard. Sizzle. I need to dispose of the carcasses of the reindeer before Mr. Wizard and the baby reindeer return. I'll cut a few more ribs for food on our way back. Bleat. Patter patter, it runs so fast. I am sure it will grow up soon. Yeah. It has been 3 days. And we are back in the wetland now. Let's go to check the fish traps we made before. 3. Mr. Wizard, we got lots of fish. Splash. Haha, we have a big harvest. Let's pull up all the fish traps and process the fish on site before leaving. Okay. These fish will be frozen soon in the snowfield, and they won't go bad easily. Exactly. Let's do it quickly. We've been out for too long this time. Okay. By the way, Mr. Wizard, shall we give the baby reindeer a name? Right. Just as Wild Animals Collections says, the baby reindeer grows fast. It can already run around in the snowfield only after a few days of recovery. And it has not shown any maldevelopment despite not being breastfed. Barring accidents, it will surely grow sturdily. The horns on its head are very cute. Let's call it Horn. Bleat. Bang. Bang bang. Unexpectedly, it only took a week to build this wooden shed. Yeah. Horn, look. Mr. Wizard is so nice to you. He built a shed for you, and it's right opposite the window of our cabin. Mr. Wizard is worried that some accidents might happen to you. Reindeer is a kind of cold-resistant animal. This wooden shed is perfect enough for you. But you're little now. You don't have the same kind to huddle for warmth, and the fur on you is not enough to survive the cold. So stay with us in the cabin before you grow up. In the middle of August, it might still be hot elsewhere, but in Zone E7, it's already autumn, or even winter. Suff. Why is it still freezing? Mumble, hold tight. What's going on? Clang clang. Push. Suff, suff. Bang. Mr. Wizard, what's wrong? Sorry to wake you up. It's snowing. The polar day is over, and it's getting dark. It's dark. The wind and snow outside are so strong that even inside the cabin, I can hear the howling of the gale. We have to deal with the fur as soon as possible. Looks like we can't make it to the snow mountain. I intended to prepare ourselves these days and then go to the snow mountain, but this weather appearing is obviously a sign of the change of seasons. According to Snow Forest Experience collections, autumn and winter are not seasons for long travel. We may run into a snowstorm and bury ourselves if we are not careful. Let's see to it tomorrow. Lie down, squeak. Rustle. Suff. Oh, my God. It's covered with snow. Luckily, I designed the door to open inward. Otherwise, we might have to come out through the window. Creak. It's freezing. Horn. Don't go too far. Don't worry. It will come back. Let's eat something first, and then clear the snow around the cabin. Otherwise, the cabin will be buried if there is another snowstorm, and then we will deal with reindeer fur, right? Rustle. We have too much food now, and one warehouse is no longer sufficient to accommodate all the food. Let's build another one after dealing with the reindeer fur. Okay. Well, we had nothing to eat at the beginning, but now we not only have the prey that you caught with traps, but also boxes of fish. Sigh. It will get colder and colder, and if it goes on, the fishery is likely to be frozen. Then let's go fishing after we build the warehouse and catch as many fish as we can. Good idea. Mr. Wizard, the warehouse is full. Got it. Come over. We are going to build a kiln. Coming. Why do you suddenly want to build a kiln? We have had everything for the winter, and naturally we need to improve our quality of life. Leaving aside everything else, don't you want to take a hot bath? Yes, of course. Hee hee. Right. We can make pots and pans through this kiln. Sigh. Pots and pans are all done. How to make a bathtub? Steam, steam. Splash. It feels so good. Turns out Mr. Wizard built the hut for this. Mr. Wizard is indeed amazing. Plaster the pit with mud, and then solidify the mud with burning firewood into a bathtub. Although Mr. Wizard said it was a pity that the bathtub couldn't be heated, I am already very content. Mr. Wizard, where are you going? I'm going to check if we got anything from the traps. We have lots of fish in the warehouse now, but we can't eat fish all the time, or we will get tired of it over time. I will go with you. You just took a bath. Have a rest at home. No, I'm going with you. Maybe I can help you. Okay, okay. Nick, let's split up. You go to Bleat. Looks like it has found something delicious again. Yeah, it gets very excited at the sight of food. Nick, now you. Bleat. It seemed to have found something. Let's go and have a look. These are cloudberries. Cloudberry. A rubus plant which belongs to the rose family. Cloudberries are low-growing perennials and dioecious. They have long and branched creeping rhizomes. Mostly, they are found in the woods or under mosses, flowering from May to July and fruiting from August to September. These are indeed cloudberries. Are they edible? I saw there are quite a few over there. Indeed. Nick, let's go to pick over there. If only we had discovered them earlier. This place is so close to our cabin. It's bound to be so as they are hidden too deeply. They grow on the ground and are sheltered by weeds. If it weren't for Horn, I am afraid that we would never discover the cloudberries here. Have a taste. Sweet and sour, it tastes so good. Yeah, we finally don't have to eat raw meat anymore. In Zone E7, it's very hard to take vitamins. To this end, Nick and I needed to have raw meat every once in a while. Because it contains many kinds of vitamins, including vitamin C, and cooking will destroy the vitamins inside. Mr. Wizard, let's go out to search for cloudberries tomorrow. Maybe we'll find more. And bring Horn with us. Okay. It will be best if we can find some. If not, we will just go out and have fun. October Suff. It's already so cold in autumn. I'm afraid that in winter, the pea will turn into ice as soon as it hits the ground. Huh, that will be so funny. Hey, you are making fun of me. You are bold now. I am not. Right, are we here to get seal oil for the winter? Now that we have reached the ice sheet, what's next? I thought about hunting seals in late autumn when the ice sheet was wider and the hunting ground was larger. However, it's getting colder day by day after the autumn equinox. That's why I have to get it done as soon as possible. The later we put it off, the worse the weather will become. The snowstorm is getting heavier, and my eyes are obviously uncomfortable. I am worried about something bad to happen if we keep moving on. We can't move on any further. It's too windy today. We'll keep going tomorrow. Horn, get down. Good bow. Let's build an igloo downwind of the sled and spend the night here tonight. Mr. Wizard, the snow is so soft. Can it be used to build an igloo? Of course, it can. You can try if you don't believe it. Crack. Oh, my God. It's hard. The snow blocks that are cut out will definitely work. Yes. The freshly fallen snow is indeed soft, but as it accumulates excessively over time, it will become tight and dense under the effect of gravity, just like the snowball we make to have a snowball fight. And the snow here has accumulated for hundreds of years. Except for the fluffy snow on the surface, the deeper snow has been compacted by gravity. It's fun to do this, as if I went back to my childhood. Huh, it's quite interesting to cut snow blocks. Mr. Wizard, why did you stop? Well, I'll sweat and get my clothes wet after working for a long time. In this low-temperature environment, sweat will quickly freeze and then the clothes can't keep us warm anymore. So when we feel hot, we have to stop and wait for the temperature to drop. Nick, stop and rest if you feel hot. It looks nice. Our 2 hours of effort were not in vain. Mr. Wizard, let's go inside. Horn, you don't stay here tonight. That snow hole is specially made for you by Mr. Wizard. Bleat. I'm thinking if there are people living in such a place. It's hard to say, but there must be someone living here before. I remember that Huang Ichio said that there was a laboratory in each zone in Biosphere 3, and each laboratory was equipped with scientific researchers. But I'm afraid that they have already been dead after that accident. Irene said that I wonder where the laboratory in Zone E7 is. If we can find it, we may get help. We need to search for it after winter. From what happened to Wufang Laboratory and the laboratory of D3. Someone in the laboratory in Zone E7 has likely survived. In a special way. What are you thinking, Mr. Wizard? Eat something first. Okay. Keep an eye on the fire. Don't let it burn too fiercely. This igloo is so small that too much heat would melt it. I need to make a good plan and not be in a hurry. Are you tired? Let's get some sleep. We are finally here. Look, Mr. Wizard. Are they the seals you mentioned? Mr. Wizard, are we going to stay here for a long time? Probably for a few days. Seals are extremely vigilant, so we still need to make some preparation. Let's build a big house for Horn this time. 0. Bleat. Whir. Sure enough, a bigger igloo takes more time. Let's go inside.